Hello, I'm Charlie Brooker and you're watching Screenwipe, a programme all about the thoroughly discredited medium of television.
Not so long ago, TV was everyone's friend. It provided companionship to the old and lonely, provided a window on the world for anyone too lazy or stupid to open a book, and imbued an otherwise hopelessly divided nation with a false sense of social unity.
But now it's all went actually wrong.
Now TV is discredited, distrusted and despised by all. It's a big electric bastard.
All year long, TV's been in the dock more often than Pete Doherty, and it's been treated with even less respect. Here's why.
First, there was Celebrity Big Brother, in which a light-hearted reality show became an all-out race war.
You're a liar! You're a liar and you're a fake! You're a liar!
Then phone scandals rocked bland TV to its core.
I can't believe I got through after all this time.
Oh.
I think I've been trying for about 3 years, so need the money to pay my phone bill.
Some contests were even skewed in favour of imaginary people, although ironically amongst the real people who lost out were Glorious Winner, Jackpot and Victor E. Lapp. After roping a loose kid into impersonating a phone-in winner, squeaky clean Blue Peter was forced to beg for forgiveness from the nation's children.
We'd like to say sorry to you because when this mistake happened, we let you down.
Actually, is it just me or is that the sexiest apology ever? Go on, Connie, apologise again. Do it with your mouth.
Anyway, before we'd stopped reeling from that, an almighty row blew up over whether the Queen had stormed out of a room or whether it just looked that way because of TV's stinking lies.
BBC One boss Peter Fincham was forced to explain himself in an unusual Newsnight grilling.
I'll explain it again. It's a mistake that was made, for which, of course, as the controller of the channel, I take responsibility.
And with that, he got up and he stormed out of the room. We've been asked to point out Mr. Fincham did not storm out of the room, nor did he do any of the following.
Throughout all this, the papers have reacted like they're Keanu Reeves in the Matrix, pulling the virtual dream pipe out the back of his noggin and seeing the world for the steaming shitbowl it really is for the very first time.
Before long, Fleet Street was pissing its knickers over whether uncouth chef Gordon Ramsay really caught a fish or not.
I feel like a fucking action man. Oh yeah? Well, you look like a fucking liar.
Of course, it's a bit rich, all this coming from Fleet Street. I mean, it's not like the papers ever bend the truth.
It's not like the papers might pay some scumsack to stand outside a nightclub firing off 300 photos of whichever celebrity they've got it in for that week just so they can select a shot of them in mid-blink where it looks like they're a bit drunk and run it alongside some quasi-fictional article peppered with quotes from imaginary sources, is it? Oh, it's not like the papers frequently run stories bearing so little resemblance to reality they might as well be accompanied by Roger Hargreaves illustrations and a Lewis Carroll byline.
Oh, no! It's not like the papers mislead everyone on a daily basis, is it? No! Heaven forfend! So, can we trust telly? Well, the problem is that there's various types of fibbery going on here. Some of them harmful, some just part of the language of television. But they all got caught up in the same hysterical whirlwind.
Many TV shows have got in hot water of late for being make-believe, but for my money, the most scandalous is a BBC Two show in which everything's scripted, all the rooms are set, and they've used computers to make it look like a bunch of normal people have got superpowers.
Heroes tells the story of everyday folk who suddenly discover they're not everyday at all. At the start of the series, a genetics professor who looks a bit like an Indian David Tennant discovers his murdered dad's oddball evolutionary theories were true and that there's a bunch of people scattered around the globe who harbour secret special powers. One of the central characters is Peter Petrelli, formerly a nurse caring for the terminally ill with a rib-tickling bedside manner.
Now you look at me, living in a penthouse, Central Park West.
Correction. It's dying in a penthouse in Central Park West.
It's funny because it's true.
Peter discovers he acts as a sort of ability sponge, soaking up the powers of whichever hero is nearby. One of these is his brother Nathan, an aspiring politician on behalf of the Gillette Party who can fly and blow smoke rings out of his anus. Most of the fun comes from watching the wide variety of heroes, each of whom conveniently has a different power. There's a man who can pass through objects, a man who wipes minds, and a man who can fart in a glass of water and keep it bubbling for an hour.
Stop! Just stop!
There's also a fat Keanu Reeves who can hear what people are thinking, especially if he strains his ears like a 90-year-old woman. Now, you might think he spends most of his time hearing people thinking, hey, he looks like a fat Keanu Reeves, but actually he uses the power to make expert love to his wife.
It's like you're in my head.
Christ, his dick must be massive if it's gone all the way up to her head. Look out, you'll have her eye out with that, from the inside.
By far the most compelling character is Japanese office worker Hiro, a likeable walking stereotype who can stop time. Hiro's coupled with his best friend Ando, and together they wander through the series as comic relief like two stereotypical Japanese tourists in a far-fetched road movie. His storyline is the most interesting, especially if you're watching the show on satellite, because he's a bit like a human Sky Plus machine.
Actually, that reminds me of something that happened the other day. I'd been constipated for hours. Anyway, the heroes aren't simply using their powers to perform circus tricks. No, they're racing to stop New York being splattered by a massive explosion.
It's been foreseen by superpowered and heroine-liking artist Isaac Mendes, the man who can paint the future badly.
Thanks to Isaac's doodles, they know they've got to save the cheerleader to save the world. And the cheerleader turns out to be a sexy young teenager called Claire, who's adept at repairing herself after an accident.
Oh my God.
You know, that reminds me of something I saw the other day.
If you hit me at 40 miles an hour, there's around an 80% chance I'll die.
Yes, it's the self-healing action from the most shocking, upsetting advert on TV.
Right, if it's okay to hit her at 30 but not 40, why doesn't she just run away at 10 miles an hour when she sees the car coming? Well, don't go back in the road, you maniac! Heroes is good, but it's not altogether perfect. For one thing, you have to sit through a hell of a lot of really stomach-churning dialogue.
We sat in my car and listened to the whole American Beauty album.
Although the weakest link is the aforementioned Dr. Suresh, whose special ability is being made out of bloody wood.
Every time it cuts to him, I let out an audible sigh. Look. Oh, it's not here. Oh. Anyway, Heroes may be unadulterated schlock, but it's brilliantly assembled schlock. Some of the special effects are superb. The only trouble is they're ripping through all the different powers so quickly. By the time they get to season 3, they're going to have to introduce a bloke whose special power is that he can make really nice paella. And who's going to watch that?
With all public trust in TV utterly shat through a bin bag, does anyone believe anything they see on screen anymore? Whoa!
I mean, is Socks here even real? At least Paxman's putting on a brave face.
Newsnight sadly doesn't have a cat or indeed a dog. If we did have a dog, though, what should it be called? If you've got nothing better to do than vote for the name of a non-existent animal, you can do so on our website. We pledge to abide by whatever name you choose.
Everything on TV is a lie to some extent. The box starts lying to you the moment the presenter gets makeup plastered round their chops. Look at him reading the news through a cosmetic mask. George Alagaya, George Ballyliar, more like. The TV tells you countless petty lies every day, and here are just a few of them. Here we see some unequivocal bullshit in action.
Morning, Paul.
Good morning. How are you? All right?
Morning. Joy and her daughter Helen.
Hello.
It's Joy's house, obviously.
Yes.
That's it. Pretend you've never met Joy, whose house you're standing in. Delicious. But wait a minute, is that steam rising from the food or from a damp tampon that's been microwaved? Yeah, this really isn't just food. It's food with a hot tampon hidden in it.
Sometimes a show will be forced into deception by a combination of bad luck and lack of money. At least that was our excuse.
Last year we did a US TV special which involved us flying to LA to shoot a load of fancy links, but when we got back we discovered a glitch on some of the tapes, which was a problem because we couldn't afford to go out there and do it again. So we shot a load of replacement links in an American-looking bar in central London.
All right, you big American
And also made it look like I was reviewing shows in an LA hotel room, although actually I was here in a hotel in Shepherd's Bush.
These days, many shows are shot with a single camera, but frequently disguise the fact by filming things twice from 2 different angles.
For instance, here's Bruce Parry waving bye-bye to some tribesfolk. Bye, Bruce, bye! God, it's good of them to have used two invisible cameramen to film this. Look, if he's in the boat and we're seeing this shot from the boat and this is shot from the shore, where's the bloke filming it in the boat? It's another lie!
Some TV techniques aren't really lies, more little bendings of reality.
Most viewers are familiar with these noddy shots where the reporter reacts to what the interviewee is saying, and most viewers know they're shot afterwards. But not everyone realises what they're for, which is making it easy to paper over any awkward gaps. Say you've got someone who takes forever to say something.
Hello, could you start by telling us who you are and what you do?
My name's Holly and I'm the production manager. So I look after things like budgets and schedules and booking post-production suites and booking crews, liaising with artist agents, that kind of thing, really.
Well, with judicious use of noddies, you can smooth that all out.
Hello, could you start by telling us who you are and what you do?
My name's Holly and I'm the production manager. I look after budgets and schedules, that kind of thing, really.
Noddies are a form of cutaway, and cutaways are everywhere.
Big Brother, for instance, regularly chops sections out of the diary room chats by simply cutting away to footage outside.
Okay, think like lady, woman, vagina, vagina person.
Here in Channel 4's excellent The Enemies of Reason, there's a particularly weird cutaway where Richard Dawkins appears to suddenly get distracted by a squirrel.
I've done one study at Hammersmith Hospital on stroke patients that was funded quite a few years ago.
The liar, probably.
Anyway, to make sure we keep this show on the straight and narrow, we've built TruthBot here, a state-of-the-art veracity droid with inbuilt verisimilitude detectors. Any attempt to mislead the viewer whatsoever, and he'll squawk his cybernetic little head off. So, TruthBot, tell me, have you detected any lies in the programme yet?
Affirmative.
Or like what?
I am not a real computer, merely a perspex box with bits of circuit and lights in and a voiceover added later.
All right, well, tell me this, yeah? If you're not a real computer, how come you know all of that?
Does not compute, does not compute, does not compute, does not compute,
TruthBot! Why? Now here's the first part in our new animated serial by fatpie.com's David Firth.
Congratulations! You've just bought the year 2008. Just sign here, and here's your keyring, and here's your greatest hits album. Many thank you.
May the month of happiness shine upon your people.
Magic, cheers then.
Basically, anything you do,
make,
say,
or think
within the year 2008
is officially the property of
the establishment.
I thought Will Smith already owned the whole millennium.
Excuse me, Millennium.
No, he just bought first year of it.
I shan't stand for this. I shall leave the bloody year. So Lenny left the year, but found nothing but old CDs and wasted electricity.
Well, I found a loophole in the law.
Hold please. Will Smith's just bought the loophole.
Will hole? Sounds a bit gay. The world is drowning in liquid injustice.
But the binary core is at the center of the sun. You'll burn to death.
Not likely. You're too late, cyber meathead. Prepare for battle.
Oh, Cybermetal, you're so aggressive.
Cannot compute. I am not aware of this emotion.
You have so much to learn about the world. We must take you to Eureka.
But how can all the mysteries of the world be captured in one small building in Halifax, England?
Given the current row over what you can or can't believe on television, it's heartening to see ITV taking a stand by broadcasting a slice of cold hard reality slap bang in the middle of the day.
Have I Been Here Before is an incredibly hard-hitting look at the world of past lives, fronted by ethereal boy child Philip Schofield. In each thrilling edition, a top-shelf A-list megastar, or Eddie Large, undergoes hypnotic regression therapy.
Have we all been here before? In a past life?
No.
Regression therapist Andrea Fawkes believes that if Eddie is in a state of deep relaxation, he'll be able to access the part of his brain where memories of his past lives are stored.
I don't know how she relaxes them, because that bit's never shown, but they do look a bit like men who've just been tossed off in a massage parlour enjoying a little post-tug snooze.
Although that's definitely not what's happened here. No.
Anyway, Andrea kicks off the regression with easy scene-setting questions like this one to John Barrowman.
You inside or outside?
I'm inside.
And what are you inside of?
Probably a man.
Okay, let's go ahead in time now to the next significant event in that lifetime.
Now, as you may have noticed, Andrea's voice is just a little bit creepy. Actually, I think I've heard her somewhere before.
If you hit me at 40 miles an hour, there's around an 80% chance I'll die.
Typical kids today, just lying around.
Oh, hang on, looks like the reincarnation process has started already.
As luck would have it, the celebrities generally seem to have led eventful and colourful past lives.
For instance, John Barrowman here was a clown in oldie worldy Bucharest, a role he relives with startling clarity.
My father and mother are they're trapeze artists, but I'm a clown.
Yeah, but it wasn't all laughs for John.
I'm supposed to make people laugh. Make them... I can't make them laugh!
Not all the stars provide as much emotional lucidity as John. Take roly-poly funny man Eddie Large, whose stirring recollections of life as a Scottish warrior were recounted with all the illuminating detail of a smudge in a blur factory.
Wearing any clothes?
Yeah, old clothes.
And do you have a name?
I'm Jock. Wee Jockey Campbell.
And who are you fighting?
Probably the English.
And what year is it?
18-something, might be 17-something, I don't know. We're gonna batter the English.
And where are you hoping to batter them?
I don't know.
Who's the boss?
I don't know.
Incredibly, Eddie even continues remembering his past life after it's ended.
Jock's dead.
What happened to Jock?
Got killed.
Far more interesting than the supposed glimpse into the past the regression provides is the glimpse into the celebrities' unguarded psyches.
For instance, in some deep mauve corner of Adele Silver's subconscious, she's not a soap diva, but a little orphan boy locked in an attic.
I don't like.
Whereas David Seaman sees himself as a gallant knight of the realm. Best of all, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire cough-cheeked Charles Ingram is actually a beautiful Roman woman.
And what colour's your toga?
Cream colour. I have a belt. Pretty belt.
Oh, don't stop, Charles. Oh.
What can I say? I don't feel in touch with my feminine side at all, so...
Once the regression's over, on comes historian Jules Hudson, wearing 10,000 layers of clothing to investigate whether the stream of psychobabble horseshit has any historical merit whatsoever.
Of course, the poor sod has so little to go on, his job is a bit like trying to build a cathedral out of peas.
Eddie's regression certainly has given us a fascinating insight into a very colourful period. But whether or not his Jock Campbell really did take the high road through Scottish history, of course, I can't tell you for sure. But it does make you think.
It may all seem like harmless fun, but shows like Have I Been Here Before have to walk a fine line. They hide behind a tissue-thin veneer of objectivity, occasionally pointing out that it could all be made up, while heavily promoting the notion that it isn't.
Do you think you've been here before?
Yeah, I do.
Do you?
Seeing that.
Now here's TV legend Nicholas Parsons.
As someone who's been in television since the earliest days, over 6 decades. My goodness, am I that old? Sale of the Century was probably commercially the most successful thing I ever did, and I'm, thrilled with its success.
Welcome once again to the Sale of the Century.
Would you like to earn a mink coat, Elizabeth? Would you like to earn a mink coat, Elizabeth? Come on, say, would you like to earn a mink coat? Saturday night was the big night, and everybody expected a big, variety-type comedy show. The shows that have been really successful, the people in front of them have added to that success and made it work. Like Noel Edmonds on his house party show. It wouldn't have been the same without Noel. Bruce Forsyth was a wonderful presenter. Bruce has got such a style that he can make even a rather bland show like Play Your Cards Right more entertaining. Bruce has got this amazing ability to engage with an audience. Television's about personalities, and you either enjoy people because you love them, you enjoy people because you love hating them. Simon Cowell has got an abrasive personality, and he knows how to put it over.
I mean, the whole thing was, it was like you possessed or something. It was just weird.
He's brilliant. He's a businessman, but he's got a flair for entertainment.
You are potentially one of the most annoying contestants we've ever had.
I mean, we had a great character called Gilbert Harding before the war. What's my line? And he was very rude and abrasive to the contestants. But Gilbert Harding was a great personality, and so people warmed to him. People warmed to Cole. Good luck to him. The man's bloody clever. Good luck, Simon. And that's what showbiz is about. It's personalities. Personalities that come out of the screen and make an impact. And those are the ones that go on being employed.
Here's TV's popular Top Gear gang driving their way down Fake Street.
Richard!
What?
Richard, have you got a fire extinguisher?
No, why? How in the name of...
God in heaven, man.
Put it out, put it out.
Put it out. Where's the holder? Use the oven glove.
The cushion's on fire now. I've made it worse.
That was hilarious. But was it real? Well, no, of course it wasn't. Health and safety would never give them permission to do that. It was a setup. But do you really care? After all, it's not like documentaries have ever provided 100% manifestations of some absolute truth. For instance, Nanook of the North, widely regarded as the first documentary, was a bunch of lies from beginning to end, with faked igloo scenes, a different wife cast as Nanook's squeeze, and Eskimos using spears instead of the rifles that were commonplace. And in Night Mail, one of the most famous docs in the history of British docitude, all the interior train scenes were shot in a studio.
Badly addressed. This is the Night Mail crossing the border, bringing the
Lies,
check and the
truth
postal
distorter,
order, letters
bullshit,
for the rich,
bullshit,
letters for the poor,
fake,
the shop at the
liar,
corner of the girl next door.
Bollocks! Even when what you're seeing is effectively real life, as in Paul Watson's groundbreaking fly-on-the-wall doc The Family, it's still only real life as captured by a film crew.
It is going to be a tremendous intrusion into your privacy, because we will film everything.
Of course, the minute you bring a camera into the equation, you've altered reality, because everybody's behaviour changes slightly. It's a bit like when there's a phenomenally pretty girl in the room and all the men start acting like cool dicks in an attempt to impress her. Don't you hate it when they do that, yeah? Cameras aren't the only thing that can alter reality. Today's schedules are heaving with troubleshooter guru shows in which the narrative is always essentially the same. Knight in shining armour turns up and stops someone messing up their life. But what if reality doesn't conform to the story? What if we were making a guru show about a nanny, for instance, and for the purposes of the story we needed shots of the kids being unruly for the start of the show, but they weren't being unruly? We could do something to upset them. Snatch away their favourite toy, for instance, so they kick off and we have lots of shots of the suburban hell that's about to be tamed. I'm not saying that guru shows do that, I'm just saying I would. At the end of the day, the whole problem with the debate about truth, or lack of it on TV, is that it's such a fuzzy morass of a subject. It's less to do with truth and more to do with acceptable levels of artifice. Ultimately, I suppose it's best to treat it all with a healthy degree of scepticism. Oh, it's a squirrel. Oh, look at this squirrel. Oh. The X Factor has become as much a part of Britain's calendar as Wimbledon, the Grand National and the Tewkesbury Parsnip Stomping Contest. It's a bona fide institution, by which I mean a home for the mentally ill. The early editions contain scenes reminiscent of some kind of futuristic fascist rally as Simon and the judges roll into town like chosen prophets, driving thousands of simpletons into a frenzy of ecstatic hysteria. It's like Nuremberg for dummies. But this time around there was controversy from the off. The panel of judges had changed. Judge Death was still there, of course, as was Sharon Osbourne, the TV equivalent of a mad aunt at a wedding. But putty-faced Louis Walsh was gone because he'd been sacked. Taking his place were Brian Friedman, a sort of meerkat approximation of Justin Timberlake. And Danny Minogue, who's got so many letter I's at the end of her name. I always think you're supposed to pronounce her name like you're falling down a manhole cover in the middle of it, like Danny! Oh, there was also another change. Dermot Q Thingy is presenting instead of Kate Hujima Boobs. Apparently he's a really nice guy. At first it seemed to be business as usual. The public still queued in droves and jumped up and down, making X signs like pillocks, and the judges still came across as utter bastards. So far, so but apparently all was not right.
And it lies in the makeup of the new judging panel.
I just don't feel any chemistry.
Simon had an uncomfortable feeling in his gut and took immediate action.
I need to take a break.
Or maybe he was just going for a shit, I can't really tell. In a completely spontaneous, unplanned decision, Simon and the producers decided to bring back Louis Walsh.
You're going to bring back Louis Walsh?
See? Incredibly, some cynics claimed his return might have been a manufactured stunt, but they don't even believe wrestling's real.
After ITV admitted they'd shot pickups of some of the behind-the-scenes sequences, Simon defended the show, saying, "What you see is what happened. It's raw and we don't censor." Now, I never realised that X Factor was part of Lars von Trier's Dogma 95 movement, but there you go. Thing is, there was loads of raw, uncensored stuff I was now expecting to see, but didn't.
For example, I hoped we might get to see the production team pre-auditioning the hopefuls. I'd always assumed they cherry-pick the best and most laughable candidates before the celebrity judges get to see them, but apparently not. No, what you see is what happened, so Simon and co presumably sit through sing-songs from every one of this lot. While the judges are watching, we see lots of reaction shots of them gawping in disbelief. Now, I'm so cynical, I always assumed they scoured through the rushes until they found a suitably hilarious facial expression, and that these weren't necessarily shots of them reacting to precisely the bit of the song we're hearing.
But no, because what you see is what happened, which is weird because the other week what I saw was this.
Dan. Yeah. 4 yeses, you're through.
Nothing unusual there, just Danny Minogue impersonating a squeaky gate, but then a minute later...
I want to say yes.
So presumably what you see is what happened, it's just that sometimes it happened twice. Another key element of the X Factor is the heart-tugging human interest stories.
Emily is not only lucky to be auditioning, she's lucky to be alive.
But you largely only ever seem to hear them from singers who turn out to be good.
Well, what about the ones who get the piss taken out of them?
We rarely get to hear about the tragic side of their lives, presumably because it might make comments like this sound a bit less funny.
It was horrendous. It was just weird.
Yeah, and your mum's dead. There are so many tragic tales in the show, I'm surprised they don't go the whole hog and ditch the singing and turn it into Britain's biggest sob story. Actually, that reminds me of a really tragic sob story I saw the other day.
If you hit me at 40 miles an hour, there's around an 80% chance I'll die.
Well, I've seen this advert so often now I'm completely desensitised I can just eat my way through it. What's odd about the X Factor is that despite being precisely the same every year, it grows in popularity with each series. It's as predictable as a metronome, each time the same deluded no-hopers, the same god-awful churning, warbling shit, which is apparently good.
This love has taken its toll on me. She said goodbye too many times before.
He's really good.
You're so cute, yes.
I'm going to say yes.
The same catty put-down.
The wigs, the...
They're not wigs.
Oh, whatever.
Every time it's simply more of the same, and that probably is the reason for its success. Because in a troubled world with an uncertain future, it's comforting to know that there's a place where, for at least an hour, you know exactly what you're going to get. Sometimes more than once. Isn't that right, Danny?
Yeah. Well, that's about all we've got time for. Be sure to tune in next time when we'll be looking at... Oh, no, sorry. Sorry, I forgot. We're not allowed to end our own show like this anymore. Since these came in, the BBC's new end credit guidelines. Actually, that is one of the things we're going to be looking at next week, why marketing piss like this is steadily infecting everything on television. And now, since I'm not allowed to talk during my own end credits anymore, just in case they feel like crushing the picture up or jabbering all over it, you're just going to have to stare at me saluting the New World Order for 30 seconds.